for Hollywood. Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal. Oh, hello there. I am Stan the Movie Man. This is my review of Annabelle Comes Home. It stars Patrick Wilson, Vera Farmiga, McKenna Grace, Madison Iseman, Katie Sarif, and more. It is the story of the demon doll. It isn't possessed, as Lorraine Warren explains to us. Lorraine Warren, of course, played by Vera Farmiga. It is a beacon for other spirits. At the beginning of the film, the Warrens have just taken possession of Annabelle, and they are taking it back to their home to store in a special room. This room contains all of the various and sundry and most dangerous cursed items that they have come across in their various travels and dealing with various hauntings and possessions. And the room is under lock and key, and Ed Warren, played by Patrick Wilson, makes sure that Annabelle is put in a special case. The glass has come from a church, and it is blessed by a priest, and they lock it up, and as soon as they lock it up, all of the weird stuff in the room that was going on, as soon as Annabelle arrived, the room kind of comes alive when she arrives. All that stops. So, and the door to this room has like 5 locks on it. Only one of them, though, requires a key, and that's a problem. But the case that she is in is also locked with a key, so everything should be good. Now, their 12-year-old daughter, Judy, played by McKenna Grace, goes to Catholic school, and there's been a story in the newspaper about the Warrens and whether or not they are frauds. And that has led her friends to shun her, make fun of her. And her birthday's coming up, and she was going to have a party, but everybody's canceling. They're saying they're not coming, in part, well, mostly because of this newspaper story. The Warrens have to go off to study another case, and they leave Judy in the care of Mary Ellen, played by Madison Iseman. She is live-in babysitter when the Warrens are out of town. Now, Daniela, played by Katie Sarif, is a friend of Mary Ellen's. She's the bad girl, you can tell, because she's bad. And she comes over to the house uninvited and brings a pair of roller skates as an early birthday present for Judy, but that's really just to get Judy and Mary Ellen out of the house so that she can go investigate the room with all the dangerous stuff in it. You see, Daniela's father died recently in a car crash, and she misses him terribly, and she wants to reconnect with him. She finds the keys to the room and opens it up and starts, jiggling and picking up and touching everything in the room, and she sees Annabelle. And Annabelle forces herself to lean over, and of course she's, I guess, I'm not sure what Annabelle's head's made of. Anyway, she hits that glass, and it makes a knocking sound, and then Daniela goes over to the case, opens it up, and tries to put her back the way she was, and she leaves the room, but she doesn't relock the case, and Annabelle escapes. And that's when things get weird. The movie's really not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. And it's not that scary. It does a good job of building tension and the occasional jump scare. There's only a few of those, really. But what it's good at is telling this story of Daniela and her feeling of loss, and also Judy and her feeling of isolation and bullying at the hands of her schoolmates. It does a really nice job of building up those characters, and Mary Ellen, Daniela, and Judy kind of become this Scooby-Doo gang, and they're they wind up fighting these spirits later on in the film. If you're hoping to see more of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga, you're not, because they disappear for all but about, they're in the very beginning, they're in the very end, maybe a total of 5 minutes altogether, but for the majority of the film, they are gone. It's just the kids left at home. And a boy, a guy named Bob, played by Michael Cimino, who is interested in dating Mary Ellen, who gets caught up in the madness early on. Again, this little trio of demon hunters or demon fighters is the core of the film, and the friendship, the bond that develops between these two teenage girls and this little girl is kind of nice. It's supportive and sweet, especially as you learn more about Daniela and her father's relationship. Where the wheels start to come off is at the end, because the movie starts throwing every kind of attempt to scare you into the last 30 minutes as more of these cursed objects escape, or at least are seen outside of the storage room where they're all kept. And it's trying too hard to catch up on the scares, and they come really quickly, even though everybody in the movie walks like they're half frozen to death very slowly, except for a couple of times when they run. But it throws everything at the wall and hopes something scares you when it goes splat, and most of it doesn't. It's not a bad movie. It's probably the best of the Annabelle-centric films, but I can't say it's all that scary. And it's more the relationship between these young women that are the best part of the film. The scares are just sort of tacked on to try to get you to jump, and they fail the majority of the time. Annabelle Comes Home, not a terrible movie, not great. I'm giving it 3 stars. Go to stanthemovieman.com to see my complete review. Please follow me on Twitter at MovieManStan, and if you'd like, you can send me an email, stanthemovieman123@gmail.com. Till next time, later.